Hey coaches, hey athletes. This is our third part of our series on plyometrics. We're talking movements here, okay? So we've got three movements. We've got jump, bound, and hop. A jump, we express it by saying it's a 2-foot load, a 2-foot takeoff, and we land on the same 2 feet, okay? Pretty simple. A lot of people understand the jump. And again, we'll talk more examples, and we'll talk about how to load. We'll talk about how to do it the most appropriate way. Then we have a bound. A bound means we start on one leg and we load and extend through that one leg, but land on the other leg. Okay, so anytime you walk, you're technically bounding, right? You take a step forward with, let's say, your left foot, then your right foot, then your left foot. That's bounding, okay? Skipping, running, all of this is bounding, okay? And again, we'll talk about how to load for going vertically, horizontally, and linearly, okay? Then we have the hop, a one-leg load, an extension off of that one leg, and then a landing on that same leg, right? So if you're just on your right foot and you just hop up and down, that's hopping, okay? And again, we'll talk more about that right now. All right, let's talk about loading for our different movements. So we've got the jump. Now we've talked about this in our initiation video. And again, if you haven't seen our initiation video or our direction video, you gotta go check that out. But we always want to start, and this goes for all of our movements, our jump, our bound, and our hop. We want to start with some type of tension. That way we can take a breath into that tension, then go through our initiation. So with our jump, our feet are just about hip distance apart. You don't necessarily need to go squat stance. This is our jump stance, our athletic stance. So they line up right under your hips. Our legs are nice and straight, our butt is a little bit tight, our lower back is on a little bit. That way we can take our deep breath. Now, as we've talked, we want to have as rapid of a load. I'm literally throwing my arms down as hard as I can. That causes more stretch to happen. That way I can drive through the ground and my arms can either come up or out in any direction that I need to be moving, okay? Rotationally, I'm going to be twisting. Jumps are pretty easy, okay? Let's talk bound. So remember, that's a one leg takeoff, the other leg landing. So when I take my 1 foot off the ground, I always scissor my arms, okay? This is gonna help keep me balanced, especially as I switch in midair, I can catch myself a little bit better because the leg that lands, I need the opposite arm forward as I land. Otherwise, if it's like this, my whole body, my center of mass is thrown off and I'm gonna fall the other way, okay? So I'm gonna start as tall as I can, just like I was saying. I'll start, I'll have my arms scissored. That way I can load so that they're contralaterally racked. Then I can drive through my foot in midair. I'll be switching legs and then I'll be landing into my loaded phase. And then if I have to, I'll switch again the other way. Now, if you want your athletes to instantly get better, the other knee needs to do a lot of work, okay? If we start, let's say, and we are here, we're loaded, right? You can scissor into it. If I bound and my knee just barely comes up and I land, I'm not going to nearly get as much air time. So that knee is super important that it drives up before we land on that leg. That's something that you guys as coaches should be teaching. You should just take 5 minutes just to practice that knee drive, especially when we talk about hops. Okay, because hopping, we're landing on the same leg. That other knee needs to come through, okay? So now, if I'm doing a linear horizontal or a linear vertical hop, sometimes I'll scissor my arms and hop and come back down. Sometimes I'll load just like I would if I were on 2 feet, loading and going. And that brings up a good point. If your athletes are having an issue figuring out how it should feel in their legs, take them through their load with their jump and just have them pick up the other leg. They'll instantly feel their IT band turns on a little more, it shifts. Then you can play with their arm scissor mechanics, and you can just do pumping type actions so that they can get more comfortable. But let's go back to the hop. Again, if I'm going linearly, so either horizontal or vertical, I might use 2 arms, I might scissor my arms, whatever. But then when I'm going side to side, you better believe I'm going to be scissoring my arms so that I can throw my body, twisting through the air so that I can land on that same foot in that same loading phase. Okay? So hopefully this helps you guys. Again, take your time. Don't try to just throw so many things at yourself or your athletes. Make sure that you understand the basics so that you guys can have better performance.